So obviously UFC 253 last night. Just here to give my recap, sort of put it all together. First things first, the Kai France versus Brandon Royval matchup. It was a cracker for as long as it lasted. Kai France, he showed some advanced striking. They got something going on down there with City Kickboxing in Auckland, New Zealand. He showed me a lot last night in the first round. Early in the second, goes for a takedown. Royval just throws him in a guillotine in some nasty jiu-jitsu. He simply couldn't get out of it. Nothing really against Kai France. I don't hold anything against him. But Brandon Royval, I would like to see him maybe fight like Askar Askarov, who I think is number 3 right now in the flyweight division. Then maybe throw him in for a title fight because that guy's legit. That guy's legit. Brandon Royval, remember the name. Next up, Jan Blachowicz versus Dominic Reyes. And listen, sorry. Dominic Reyes, he somewhat stuck to the game plan. He somewhat did what I expected. He'd stay out of the pocket. He went in the pocket a few too many times. But those body shots, those body kicks that Jan Blachowicz was landing, great technique. I mean, if you saw towards the end of the fight, Dominic Reyes, his liver, it looked red as a tomato. And just he caught him with the left hook, and that's Polish power right there. Had Dominic Reyes doing the chicken dance. Wow, there's really nothing you could say about that. I mean, what's next for someone like Dominic Reyes? I'd say probably the loser of Glover Teixeira versus Thiago Santos. Maybe someone like Alexander Rakic, but I mean, he should still be up there in the title picture. I don't really hold it against him. I'm not saying Blachowicz caught him with a lucky shot, but Blachowicz showed me a lot last night. I would maybe like to see that John Jones fight because, again, I went in there mistakenly thinking all Blachowicz had was power. I was completely wrong. That guy had just great display of striking. So we'll see what happens on that front. Next up, we obviously had Adesanya versus Costa. Cost me $50, but listen, Paulo Costa, he needed to be more aggressive. I thought he'd be the one implementing the leg kicks early. He never went for it. He landed one good body shot on Adesanya, and that was it. Adesanya was peppering those leg kicks, and then, I mean, we kind of knew it was a wrap. He didn't even switch stance. He didn't do anything. Landed 20 leg kicks in the first round. It's like, all right, dude, you're going to do something, and next thing you know, it's over. As for Adesanya, as much as I hate him, that's the best display of striking I have ever seen. I don't see anyone beating him in the near future. I mean, you know, maybe a Whitaker rematch. I know he mentioned Jared Cannonier afterwards. We'll see who wins that fight. That's probably who's going to get the next shot. But Adesanya, man, that was an impressive display to say the least. Paulo Costa, again, he just never went for it. And maybe shame on me for not anticipating that, but he needed to implement more pressure. And granted, Adesanya was doing all the right things, so I know it was difficult, but he just never went for it. I was very disappointed. I think he landed like one jab the entire fight. But I mean, what's next for someone like Costa? I mean, maybe I'd say probably the winner of Jack Hermanson versus Darren Till. But I mean, we saw. I don't see Dana White giving him a title shot in the near future. I think it's almost going to be like when Francis Ngannou lost to Stipe Miocic for the first time. He had to fight another 3 times in order to get that title shot again, or actually 4 times in order to get that title shot again, because it was just a masterclass on Adesanya's part. I really don't want to see them run that back under any circumstances. But yeah, I went 0 for 2. You guys could pepper me in the comments, despite the fact I have 12 subscribers. But yeah, I mean, next week we got Holly Holm versus Irene Aldana, and I really have no interest in that fight. I doubt any of you guys do either. So I'll see you next week for Week 4 predictions of the NFL.